wanna do. I got racks, racks, racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks, racks, racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. Are you a badass bitch, a badass bitch that don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch? I got racks, racks, racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do.
Hello, what's up? What's happening, everybody?
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do.
Alright, looks like we up.
A badass bitch that don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam.
Let's get into it. Let's begin. I got a good show planned for you guys tonight. Hope you guys are ready. I'm ready. I'm really, really ready. Let's get up. Let's get down. Thank you for tuning into this multi-million dollar stream. I'm your host, Kev Prosper, the owner and founder of Prosperity U LLC. You're tuned into Love and Money, the podcast of Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for contributing to the Cash App above, $ Prosperity U LLC. I know you see it. Thank you for visiting this website below at prosperunlimited.com. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. And remember, we do this every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember to invest in the brand Prosperity U LLC. Build wealth, travel boldly, live royally. Yes, boys and girls. We got a good show planned for you today. So let me set up a premise. All right, so I've been living on this earth for quite some time now. At my big age. And I've noticed, changes in technology and medical health. I come from the last generation to live with and without technology. I live in a day and age where there are a lot of radical, innovative medical procedures that have kind of changed humanity, changed the longevity and the health of humanity in a lot of ways. And, with that, there's a yin and a yang, there's a light and a dark to everything, right? And so with that, it comes its benefits, but then it also has its risk, right? You know what I'm saying? And within the recent, like maybe 3 to 5 years, this whole Ozempic craze has been going on. Like, it's been looking crazy out here in these streets. You're seeing a lot of these celebrities overnight just deflating like balloons. You're going to hear me say that word. You're going to hear me say that phrase a lot. Deflating balloons. I'm going to be saying that pretty frequently on tonight's topic. But the Ozempic craze has been going down. The whole BBL craze, that's another one. But that we're not going to talk about BBLs tonight per se. That's kind of, I don't know. I ain't gonna say out of my league because I've seen and dealt with. No, I ain't gonna say I dealt with. But anyway, we're not talking about BBLs tonight. We're not gonna talk about BBLs. But what I do want to touch on, what I do want to delve into and get deep into, not from a medical perspective, but from a social perspective, I want to get deep into weight loss surgeries. That's what I want. I want to really, really get into that. And I want to understand. I want to overlook my prejudices, set aside my ego, and understand the core motivations behind opting for the surgery. I really want to get into that tonight. And so yeah, let me just go straight in. So I put out a survey. Let's look at the survey first. I want to look at the survey and then kind of talk about it a little bit. It's anonymous. It's fully anonymous. So do not worry. Do not worry. All right, so let's hold on. I gotta go to oh my god, give me a second. I gotta go to Google Forms. I thought I could pull it up from the form itself, but let me sign in. One second. I wish I had the Jeopardy the Jeopardy sound effect. I should get that. All right, so let's look at some of the responses. I sent it out. I'll admit I didn't send it out like as or push it as hard, but I did put it out there. I did make it available, and I know people saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like so like I know there's people who've had weight loss surgeries who've seen it and are fronting. You know what I'm saying? They want to hide and not give their 2 cents in because and then a lot of it, I know it's me, right? And so they think that I'm gonna use them or use their persona and make an example of them, and I'm not that kind of guy. No, you should know me well enough. If you pay attention well enough, you should know I'm not that kind of guy. If I talk about you, no one will know. You know what I'm saying? But you know, people have their insecurities, and I don't blame them. It is what it is. So okay, so let's look at. I wonder if I can look at the responses individually. Yeah, individual. Okay. So let's look at the first person. The first person says they're age 42. Their starting weight was 300 pounds, and then before the surgery, and after the surgery, let me make sure my mic is on. Hold on, let me fix this. All right. I want to make sure my mic is on. I don't want to go for hours and hours. My mic be off. I hate that. All right, so they started before the surgery. They were 300 pounds, and after the surgery, they gained the weight right back. The type of surgery they had was a sleeve surgery, and then so the next question was, how would you describe your body image prior to the surgery? And she says complicated. And then I asked, what are the motivations undergoing the surgery? She says hereditary health risks, mobility issues, and desire to improve physical appearance. Okay, that's honest, right? That's honest, and it's reasonable. You know what I mean? Mobility, movement is medicine, and if you're not moving, you're not living. You know what I mean? So that's a thing. Hereditary issues, that's a thing as well. You know, it's something that we all have to be mindful of, no matter how young and spry we may be, right? You know, we always have to be mindful of, oh, this stuff runs in our family. We got to look out. You know what I mean? And then, you know, everybody wants to look good. You can't knock somebody for that. Like shout outs to the people who look good. You know what I mean? But she says her primary factor for the decision to opt in was desire to improve physical appearance. So okay, I don't think vanity is not a bad thing. Vanity is not bad. No, we won't knock that. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know, wanting to look good is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Now, there is some gray area to that, and we're going to get into that after I review these 2 survey responses. Was the surgery recommended by a medical professional? No. Okay. So now, I do believe that's a very good question. It's a very key question, because when you go into a surgery, a recommended surgery, you take a little more. Because you're saying to yourself, well, damn, the doctor recommended this for me. Damn, I must really need it, right? And you're gonna go into it with a little more care and precision. Whereas this particular young lady, and no shade to her, she opted in personally, and she put the weight right back on. You know what I mean? Like that's a little ouch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do believe if the surgery is recommended, you do approach it differently. You do approach it differently, or you kind of take care of it afterwards, because you're saying to yourself, okay, this is for health reasons. If this medical professional is recommending it to me, then it's for health reasons, so I need to be a little more careful. You know what I mean? As opposed to just, wanting to look good. You know what I mean? There's a different motivation behind it. But no shade to her. Everybody wants to look good. That's law. You know what I mean? I want to look good. What the fuck? You know what I mean? All right, and so the next question was, did your sense of identity change after the surgery? And she said no. So I said, so the next question was, explain your answer. She says she didn't feel any different, just more mobile. Okay, that's a good benefit. Let's celebrate that. Like I said, movement is medicine, and mobility does have its benefits. Okay, next question. Has your romantic/spousal intimacy changed since the surgery? And she says, not applicable. Okay, we respect it. We respect it. She ain't want to get into all that. You know what I'm saying? But it is a thing. I mean, looking good and being attractive does contribute to your sexual/intimate lifestyle. You know what I mean? If you look good, more people want to have sex with you. It's just simple mathematics. You know what I'm saying? So we can't deny that. Have you encountered people who preferred your body before the surgery? And she says yes. And she says, and the next question is, if yes, how did that make you feel? Uncertainty. That's a question that needs to be unpacked. I'd like to dig deeper into that. You know what I mean? I guess so. I'll extrapolate for her. I guess she may have feel like the ugly duckling, so to speak. Whereas the people that wanted her only kind of fetishized her, if you will. I think that's what she was getting at when she says uncertainty. I mean, it was an open-ended question, but I guess the best word she could use was uncertainty. You know what I mean? I guess it is what it is. Next question, how do you feel? This is about 14 questions, but it was really quick when you answer it. It's 14, most of them multiple choice, like only 2 or 3 open-ended questions. The next question, how do you feel about your body now post-surgery? And she says, still dissatisfied. Ugh. I didn't mean that. That was the wrong sound effect, my bad. Still dissatisfied. So I mean, now, granted, earlier in the beginning of the survey, she said she started at 300, and then at post surgery, she's still at 300. She put the weight back on, so it could be understandable why she's still dissatisfied with the surgery. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give my opinions after I get to the second response. And then she said, that last question, if you could go back in time, would you make the same decision again? She says no. Ooh. So that's a deeper, darker criminal link right there. That's something to look at. You know what I mean? Like what happened? Last part of it says, please explain your answer. She says it's an extreme approach. Results were temporary lived, gained all the weight back. Okay, we understand that. You know what I mean? We get that. Like, all right. You know what I mean? And I appreciate her. I appreciate her for contributing to the survey. Like, let's give her a round of applause. Anonymous person 1. Shout outs to her. She gets all the big ups and all the props. All right. Anonymous person 2. Let's look at anonymous person 2. Anonymous person 2 is 36 years old. Hold on. Where's my Instagram? Do I know this person? Hold on. Okay. Cool. Anonymous person 2 is 36 years old. And their starting weight was 395. God dang. Current weight is at 220. shout outs to her. Congratulations. That's a big milestone. And no shade to anonymous person 1. Shout outs to her too. But losing what? How much is that? My math is bad. That's about what, 100 pounds over? 100 pounds? Like, come on. Losing a person, you know what I mean, is for health reasons, is a great amazing achievement. Anytime you can do that, enough props, enough shout outs. So, next question: what type of weight loss surgery did she undergo? She underwent the SADI-S. Wait, hold on. I gotta take my time with this one. Single anastomosis duodenal ileal bypass with sleeve gastrectomy. What the fudge? What the heck is that? I could Google it. I just don't feel like it though. I don't feel like it. I just don't. But whatever it is, apparently it must have worked. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, God bless her. How would you describe your body image prior to the surgery? She says neutral. Okay, so she must have. Well, I guess she wasn't necessarily confident. Maybe she was confident in certain spaces or amongst friends or amongst other big girls. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, like, whatever the case may be. But then in other spaces, she was kind of a little insecure. You know what I mean? So you could say that would make sense to be neutral about that. What were your motivations for undergoing the surgery? She says hereditary risks, mental or emotional health, and mobility issues. Now, the mental and emotional health, I can get that as far as women are concerned. I understand the emotional nature of women, but when it comes to your physical appearance, how that relates to emotional health, that's not my wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? I'll you know what I mean? It's not necessarily my wheelhouse, but I respect it though. I gotta talk to her about that. All right. Yeah, and so next question: which of these reasons was the primary factor in your decision? She says the hereditary health risks, and for that to be a primary factor, and I do understand that. I never forget I dated a woman who was heavy set. You know what I mean? And if you've done your research, if you know my history, you know I like heavy set women. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be bashful. I'm not gonna be cool about it. It is what it is. Let's go. And so I was dating a heavyset woman, and I went to one. She had a family function. I guess she finagled her way into inviting me. I didn't want to go because I didn't like at the time we weren't serious like that. You know what I mean? And so I have manners, and I know that when you introduce your somebody you date in the family, then that's kind of signifies the seriousness of the relationship and so on. I digress. But I looked at each and every family member, and kind of all of them was built the same. Like they all had kind of like spare tires, sort of. They always built like pairs. And I was like, "Dad, this is odd." Like the men and the women, it was like odd to me. It scared the shit out of me. And so I realized, like, oh, okay, like so, your family hereditary, whatchamacallit, is very important. It's very serious. And so I'm pretty sure whatever issues she might have had, I'm pretty sure most of the people in her family have or will have. You know what I'm saying? If they don't stay on top of their health, it is what it is. So hereditary issues are a thing, especially in the Bible Belt South. You know what I mean? Where the food, or the choices of food and the culture of food around food isn't the healthiest. Let's keep that a bean. You know what I mean? So we can still bear that in mind. You know, and it's very important to be on top of it. You know what I mean? Next question: was the surgery recommended by medical professionals? So unlike anonymous person 1, anonymous person 2 says yes, this surgery was recommended, and I'm pretty sure it's probably recommended because of the hereditary issues. You know what I mean? So yes, this is and I don't want to shade anybody. I'm just not shade, but I do believe that was a very big contributing factor to how this person, anonymous person too, lost a small person. You know what I mean? Let's keep that a beam. You know what I mean? It's different when a medical professional recommends it to you. It's like, oh shit, this is alarm. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Whoa. You know? So did your sense of identity change after the surgery? She said yes. So she was acting brand new. She was deleting phone numbers and people hitting her up like, who's this? Like, what? who you calling? Huh? She don't live here no more. She was acting brand new. You know what I mean? Or I'm being goofy about it. My bad. That probably wasn't the case. She's probably just appreciating her body more, you know, celebrating the fact that she was being able to wear clothes that she couldn't fit in no more, or that she could never fit in before. You know, guys approaching her that normally never used to approach, that normally wouldn't approach her, or more guys than often approaching her. You know what I mean? That can be a big boost to your identity. Your what was the question? Your sense of identity. You know what I mean? That could be a big boost. You know what I mean? It's natural. It's natural. So the next question was, explain your answer. She says, I'm relearning who I am and what I like. Ooh, okay. And what I like and what I don't like, and what I'm willing to tolerate now. Okay. So she's leveling up in a sense. She's getting it together. We not messing with her. We not bringing no foolishness her way. No sir. All right. And next question: has your romantic spousal intimacy changed since the surgery? She says yes, somewhat. The question choices were yes, significantly, yes, somewhat, no, not really, I haven't noticed any changes, and not applicable. So she said yes, somewhat. So on a scale of 5 to 1, with 5 being yes, the highest yes, she scored a 4 on that. Said yes, somewhat. Okay, we'll give her that. We won't get into details, you know what I mean? But we'll give her that. And then next question: have you encountered people who preferred your body before the surgery? And she says yes. Okay. And the next question: if yes, how did that make you feel? Good and bad, but my decision wasn't for them to like. Her decision wasn't for them to like. Okay. I feel like she need to go deeper with that one. I need more context, sis. I need more context. How do you feel about your body now, post-surgery? She says it changes day to day. Now I'm wondering whether she means that from an emotional perspective or from a physical perspective, like or from a psychological perspective. Like when she looks in the mirror one day, she says I'm the shit, and when she looks in the mirror the next day, she says, you know, no shade, but I look like a deflated balloon. Like what the fuck? Like I said, I'm gonna give my opinions after I read these responses. If you could go back in time, would you make the same decision again? Now, this young lady says yes. And losing over 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying, for hereditary motivations, being recommended by a medical professional, I would think, yes, if she had a chance to do it again, I think, yeah, you would have to do it again. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep that a being. And then, so the last question asks to explain her answer, and she says she's no longer pre-diabetic, no longer depressed, slow, or unmotivated. Let's go. Let's give her props. That is dope. That's awesome. Round of applause for anonymous person number 2. Round of applause. So, let's get into my talking points. All right, let's do it. Ooh, I think I should give you a mic too, shouldn't I? Okay. All right. Damn, I don't want you in the camera. All right, so I got a special an anonymous guest with me. We just keeping it all the way anonymous today. Like that's just what it's gonna be. I'm gonna keep the responses open. The responses open. So, we know. So yeah. So there are different types of surgeries. I'm just gonna briefly glance over the types of weight loss surgeries there are. And of course, Ozempic being the most popular because it's the most effective, although not the most healthiest, in my opinion, in my non-medical, unqualified opinion. But the types of surgeries, there's lap bands, which is kind of old. I guess that's been unrecommended, But then there's a new O band. That's a new thing. The gastric bypass, gastric sleeve. Duodenal switch, I think that was what the young lady underwent, the anonymous person too. And then the GLP shots, that's the Ozempic. And then there's a balloon, right? Okay, a balloon. So first, I want to get into food, nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition. What is the emotional connection to food? I want you to explain it. What do you think is the emotional connection to food?
I think it just depends on where you seek comfort and safety at. Some people are comfort food eaters. Comfort eat. When they're stressed, they eat something, it activates dopamine and endorphins and all of that. So I think for me, let me say that for me.
Now you underwent
the sleeve.
What was it exactly?
The sleeve gastrectomy.
The sleeve gastrectomy.
That's the sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. In 2019. Okay. And so.
What was your starting weight?
420.
420. It was light it up. What was your what's your current weight now? If you don't mind.
290.
290. Dang, 290. That's awesome. So that's 2 people you lost.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. Okay. And you said so. So what about is the emotional connection to food? Is it a trauma loss? A trauma response?
Yeah, it would be a trauma response, or just where you find comfort and safety.
Comfort and safety.
Yeah. So some people find comfort and safety, or they de-stress in the gym. Some people do. Some people do it over a bottle of alcohol. Some people do it over a crack pipe. Mm-hmm. It's all coping mechanisms. So for people who, like myself, who cope and they use food to cope, you gain weight, because it's not like I wasn't using salad to cope. Mm-hmm. And then I think also you can't overlook the socioeconomic impact as well that food.
All right, we back. Yeah, okay. Continue.
Yeah, so the socioeconomic impact of food. Growing up poor, you tend to eat quicker, easier, more processed foods because they were cheaper. And that's even today. It's cheaper to buy a Happy Meal than it is to go to the store, get groceries to cook in certain things. Or if you're from a single parent household, my mom was working and at school 7 days a week. So she really didn't even have a lot of time to cook. She would cook on Sundays, but I learned how to cook young, but I learned how to cook stuff that was easy. Yeah.
So would you say a lot of the trauma response to food comes from poverty? Or
I think poverty can play a part of it. It's just it's hard to say what it would come from. It's just most people, those circumstances are unique to them. It would be, for me, I would say, growing up poor. My father went to prison, so there was the missing him, but then there was also the outside influences who would say things about him, and then already being predisposed to being bigger, because both my parents, yeah, so.
Ooh, okay. So here's where it's gonna get messy. What is the gray area? And we talked about this. What is the gray area between medical necessity and laziness? Because for premise purposes, you had one young lady who she got the surgery. Her primary motivation was to look better, right? Which is cool, which is cool. And assuming that I know her personally, I don't think she's a very vanity type of person. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be objective for the sake of this conversation, and let's say 1 + 1 is 2. This young lady got the surgery for the purpose of looking better, right? Mm-hmm. The other young lady got the surgery for hereditary purposes because it was recommended by a medical professional, right? So now and we had this conversation before the survey, so this is purely innocent, right? So there shouldn't be no shade here, no shade whatsoever. But I do believe, huh?
I'm so nervous for you.
Don't be. No, it's cool. So because I do believe, yes, that is the two-headed monster. There is the medical necessity where, like, listen, if you don't lose this weight by a certain age, it's going to be too late. You're going to be terminal, right? I get that. I fully get that. Cool, right? And then there's the other flip side of that coin, where, you know what I'm saying, like, I want to get me some niggas, or some ratchet shit. That's it. I want to get I want to get all the niggas. I want to get all the niggas. You know what I mean? So what, like, and because, okay, let's take into account. So we talked about the trauma response to food, right? And the emotional connection to food, right? Let's talk about a healthy lifestyle. I'm gonna use myself as an example. As an example. I was chubby as a kid, you know what I mean? But I'm a boy, so you know what I mean? Being chubby, you know what I mean? Being teased for being chubby, you know what I mean? That may play a part. It may play a part deep rooted in my psychology, but not on the surface per se. I'm not aware of it, if anything, right? And then I got over it at a young age. You know what I mean? I lost a lot of weight as soon as I hit middle school. You know what I mean? I guess I'm not a great example, right?
Terrible example, but
I'm a terrible. No, I can't be a terrible. Hold on now. Let me continue. She over here shading me.
I'm not shading you, but so far it's not as far from the surface as you may think.
What's not far? Being chubby as a kid?
Yeah.
It may not be. I don't hold it past. It may not be. But let me continue though. So I played sports in high school. You know what I mean? Went into the military. So that's all about physical fitness. You know what I'm saying? All day long. You know what I mean? Cool, right? Became an adult, lived life, and then got into a rut where I was pretty much eating at least 2 Twinkies a day. I would say my natural body weight, if I didn't work out like that, my natural body weight would be about 240. You know what I mean? Right now I haven't weighed myself recently, but last I can remember I was teeter-tottering around 265. You know what I mean? Physical appearance. You know what I mean? When I look in the mirror, you know what I mean? I'll be like, okay, I can count maybe 2 abs, right? On a good day. If I'm not bloated, if I'm not, you know what I'm saying? On a good day. But my chest ain't where I want it to be, right? You know what I mean? I got a little love handle. It got a little grip to it. It got a little something. got a little something. I'm not the worst example. This is what I'm trying to get at. And so, as of recently, I'm a pretty. I would call myself a pretty disciplined person, or fairly disciplined. I'm becoming a morning person. I'm becoming a morning person. I do work out regularly. You know what I mean? But like I said, I was in a rut where I was working a very stressful job. And, you know, some people, they come home from work, they crack a beer. Me, I was eating at least 2 Twinkies on a regular day. On a bad day, I was binging. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so I do believe that contributes a lot to the weight that I am now. You know what I mean? If you didn't know me in person, like what would you say about my body type?
I would say it's good.
If you didn't know me, you say it's good?
Yeah, I mean you're tall, you know.
Oh, it just places right. It just in the right places. Ew. That right. He won't grab it. He won't smack it. Pause. Pause. But as far as a healthy lifestyle is concerned, you know, I invested in a treadmill. And that contributed to me changing my life. You know what I mean? I started before I bought the treadmill. I started juicing. That contributed to me changing my life, changing my health. You know what I mean? I was pre-diabetic, and blood pressure don't even run in my family, and they was telling me I had high blood pressure. Like what the fudge? You know what I mean? So like I really feel like I came out the mud with it. I feel like I'm a good candidate. So with getting at a healthy lifestyle, I realize a healthy lifestyle involves a lot of, like, you can say, oh, I'm gonna switch up, I'm gonna change my lifestyle, and not have a clue where to begin. You know what I mean? For me, I can only speak for me. What I learned is that having a healthy lifestyle is pretty much just tweaking your habits. So like, okay, I like rice. I just recently got into zucchini noodles. You know what I mean? That's my thing. That's my carb alternative. So just alternating your habits, pretty much. I didn't realize I started weighing my food. You know what I mean? So I would eat the same things, but now I just manage my portions. Now I realize, okay, I chat GPT'd it, and you know, I realized that at a certain age, height, and weight, I only need to eat this many grams of a certain dish. You know what I mean? I educated myself on those things, and so yeah. Whenever I eat something, instead of sitting down to watch the TV, I'll eat it while on the treadmill. I'll hold it in a bowl. Or now my son, shout out to my son. Shout out to the son. The Son, the Father, and the Holy. No, let me stop. But my son, he gifted me a table for my treadmill. You know what I mean? Like which is amazing, awesome. And so now I can eat full meals while still on the treadmill. So now I know I'm getting my steps in. But a lot of healthy lifestyle, it does involve discipline. It does involve consistency, but it also involves alternating your habits. So I would say, so when we talk about the emotional connection to food and trauma response, right, and coping mechanisms, like you said, a coping mechanism. Well, what's the evolution? It goes from coping mechanism to habit. To lifestyle to addiction. What like? Go ahead, explain.
Well, I don't know if I can explain that cycle, but addictions are coping mechanisms. You know, and as humans, we all need a way to cope. I would say, I think for you, the reason I said that you weren't a good example is because I don't think you. A lot of people were chubby as kids. Chubby, I mean, you're a kid, you like sugar, whatever, you know. I don't know that you experienced life though as an as any person overweight, and definitely not like a female would. Yeah, definitely not like a woman would. That's why I was saying you're not a good example. But all of those things, consistency, discipline, making different choices.
How hard is that for an overweight person? Get into that.
Well, I think that's hard for anybody because it's a complete mindset change. You have to change your mind. You have to say, I know that I could eat these chips and feel good in about 2.3 seconds. You have to change your mind and say, okay, I've got to find something else that's going to make me feel good. And even starting to do that means that you have to start thinking about, why does this make you feel good? What are you trying to feel better from? I can't speak for the other two people that you spoke about, but even when I started the process, you see a psychologist, you go through therapy, you learn your mental and emotional connection to food. And that was so important. I wouldn't have called myself an emotional eater, but I don't know why though. I guess it just never really landed with me. I was just like, listen, I'm a big girl, whatever. I'm cute, period. Like, yeah, ask me the survey. Let me answer the survey. But, so yeah, I had to learn that about myself and learn that, yeah, when I'm stressed out, when I'm fearful, when I have anxiety, it was very quick and easy to turn to something with some sugar or some type of fat content, and it satiates me quick enough to where I think, oh, okay, this stress is gone. This anxiety is gone. And that's not necessarily the case. Well, that's not the case at all. I can't remember the question though. What were you asking me? We were talking about the gray area between medical necessity and laziness, which I think is a terrible question.
Why is it a terrible question?
Because any amount of overweight is a medical necessity. Any amount. If you go to the doctor and you measure, they take your height and your weight and they put you against the BMI chart, they're going to say you're overweight and you need to get this weight off of you. And it's a medical necessity. I think where a lot of people are confused about weight loss surgery is they do see it as the easy route, the lazy route. There are some patients that can't get up and just start walking. Some of them are bedridden, so it's definitely a necessity. Myself, yes, I was able to walk. I was mobile.
So you're saying, so anybody overweight, it's a medical necessity, whether they do it for vanity or not?
To lose weight, yes. I mean, weight loss makes everything in the body better, really, when you think about it. You're less weight on your joints, less weight on your back, blood pressures, A1C levels, cholesterol, all of that. So losing weight is always a good thing for anybody if they are overweight, which, I would be interested though to see what the doctor would say your weight is supposed to be.
So it's always, so there's never a case where if the person is overweight, there's never a case. So that kind of rules out the. So then, at what point, where does the laziness come in?
I don't know. You're the one that said lazy. Because in order
there's no point for the thousands of people across the country that have gotten weight loss surgeries. There's no point where any of them, there's not one of them where you would say, oh, that person's just lazy.
No, that's not true. You could say that about them or of the other billions of people on this earth, That
they lazy?
Yeah, laziness doesn't always and I think that's the issue right there. Laziness is always most often connected to people who are overweight. Oh, look at them, they're so lazy. But laziness is not exclusive to people who are overweight. And so I think that is part of the issue with that question.
The reason I say lazy, the reason I call out laziness is because testing. So yeah, I do believe that there is a degree of laziness, whereas a person maybe at a certain point in age and weight Whereas their medical, okay, you said if they're overweight, it's a medical issue, period, right?
Yeah, for anybody.
For anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, their medical issues may not necessarily be glaring just yet. And they can still save themselves with a healthy lifestyle. Nutrition, sleep, hydration, working out. Right? I've seen it done. I've seen it done in myself. I've seen it done. My son, he was 300 pounds at the age of 12. You know what I'm saying? Like shout outs to him. And he's down to 220 naturally. Now he's a guy. You know what I mean? He's a grown man. So his experience would be different from a woman's, right? His body will be different from a woman's naturally. Women have 4 phases, right? You know about the 4 phases? Come on, I'm not gonna expect you to know everything, but what? I'm just saying.
I do know about the 4.
Yeah, a woman's body is in cycles where a man's body is kind of just linear. And so yeah, I've seen it done where lifestyle can save you just as much as a weight loss surgery can. So that's why I say, okay, is person A, B, or C? Is it a medical necessity for them, or are they being lazy? That's where it comes from.
So I think it would also be a challenge to find anybody who has had a weight loss surgery that has never tried to lose weight before.
Okay.
Even if you watch the show My 600-Pound Life, they have to lose 100 pounds, most of them, before they even qualify for the surgery. So I think it's so there is an aspect, and there's a very much overlooked aspect, but that comes from how easy it is for society to just call out laziness in people who are overweight, and nobody else is lazy. Just either you're lazy if you're a big person, or you're a father that don't work. Those only 2 lazy people on earth. Like nobody else is lazy. Right. So I just think that question is crazy, because I think you'll be really challenged to find somebody that's never tried anything. And then after the fact, keeping it off, but it's easier to be active with less weight on you. So in order to change and get a more active lifestyle, having less weight on you helps you do that. I just told you not too long ago, I went up to the 3rd floor of my girlfriend's apartment. I was I bodied those steps, didn't even think about it. Was just up steps, I'm there.
Winded or nothing?
Nothing. Well, a little winded. It was hot, and I was carrying stuff. Yeah. But I think before I would have been like, oh my God, she's on the 3rd floor. It would have been a conscious thing.
Oh, the psychology,
yeah.
Them 3 flights would look like 30 flights.
Yeah, and but realizing less weight on my body, I had a more carefree approach to gliding up the steps. But I wouldn't call myself lazy at all prior to this surgery, and not afterwards either, because
So, time out. So you wouldn't call yourself lazy, right? So would a healthy lifestyle, if you were to revolutionize your life, you know what I'm saying, and revolutionize your mindset, would you have lost the same amount of weight? Would you have?
Probably, and possibly faster,
And gotten rid of, structured your life, engineered your life so that all of the enablers are gone.
Yeah, and there's loads of people who have done that, and should be quite proud. But I also feel no less proud of where my body is either. I don't, because I know for me, mentally what it took, emotionally what it took, physically, all of that. I know how I felt before physically and how I feel now.
How did you feel before physically, and how do you feel now physically?
Heavier, but no, heavier, slower. I also think for me, and I don't know, this may be with my fascination with crime shows, I also felt like, damn, if I get in a dangerous situation, I can't get out, And so even now when I think about being active, I at least need to have a good jog in me so I can try to run away Whereas before, I've been like, listen, Mr. Axe Murderer, I can't run, so do what you're going to do. But no, but actually, no, that's a real thing. You know, I did think about that. Like, man, if I had to save my own life, could I? And so, and I probably could better now. I couldn't save my life like you could save my life, though, so hopefully you will if I ever need you. But, yeah, so... But I don't take away from either group. The group that, hey, just hits the gym, makes that real mindset change to make that lifestyle change. And nor do I take away from people who have made a lifestyle change and a mindset change and also have weight loss surgery. Because no matter what, surgery or not, you have to do those things. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your lifestyle.
So you mentioned that there should be some pre-questions to asking before asking about the gray area of medical necessity.
That's the gray area question. There is no gray area.
There is no gray area because, and then you said, well, the questions you asked, it was, why does it matter to you? Why does medical necessity and laziness matter to you? The gray area of medical necessity and laziness. Why does it matter to you? And what are you hoping to understand? What is your intended outcome? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. No, let me talk about it.
Yeah, those are my questions for you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so here's where I get into my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk my shit. I'm just saying, I'm talking my shit. Okay, and that's what I'm about to do. Okay? All right. So what it matters to me, I think we talked about that. It matters to me because I'm tired of seeing women like I said before, I love big women, right? That's my type. But so then when I see women who are big or even fat, you know what I mean, whatever you want to call it, whatever, fat with a pH, whatever you want to call it, and then I turn around and then I'm seeing neck muscles, you know what I mean? I'm seeing arms like I'm seeing the deflated balloons, like it's not cute to me. It's not cute to me, and it's like, okay, I get you trying to be healthy, I get you trying to look better, you know what I'm saying? Like kudos to you. You know what I mean? But I do believe there's a healthier way to do it. Because, like, okay, let's say you undergo the weight loss surgery, and the reason it matters to me is because these were women I'm attracted to or once was attracted to before the surgery. You know what I mean? It's like watching a flower wither. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard on you. You know what I mean? It's hard on you as a suitor. So what was the point I was gonna make? I forgot.
I asked you, why does it matter?
Yeah. So yeah, these were women I'm attracted to. And yeah, so okay, this is what I was getting at, right? Yeah, you may undergo the surgery and yeah, you know, you're no longer pre-diabetic. You may undergo the surgery and you no longer have high blood pressure. All right, cool, great. Your health is top notch now. But you look like a deflated balloon. So whatever box you was checking off, you still missed the box. I mean, is that a fair assessment?
Well, I think whatever your thought is your fair assessment. Mm-hmm. But as it relates to weight loss, whether you lose weight from surgery or you lose weight from hitting the gym every day, softness happens. Mm-hmm. Loose skin happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I respect that because my son is dealing with that now. Like
and muscles that weren't necessarily visible are more visible.
Yeah.
And so when we talked about this, you know, you did show me a picture and I was like, yeah, that would be jolting. You know, if you see a woman's body and expect it one way and it's not, and you don't know that. I think it's a shame though that there are less women for you to be attracted to on the planet because they all keep having weight loss surgery.
No, I mean,
I feel so bad for you that, you know, there's just not a harem of big girls anymore, but trust me, there are. I'm still a big girl. And I guess the difference for me is I actually did not want to go down to a size 2, 4, 8. And I even kind of low-key asked the doctor, I was like, listen, I'm trying to be back to high school, which in high school I was a 20. That was great for me. I didn't realize it in high school. But in high school, 20 today.
I think everybody wants to get back to their high school.
Yeah, but a lot of people who do it, they're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get back into a 6. I was never in a 6 or 8. I can't even imagine my body that small. And I don't think I would enjoy it. And I don't think I would also enjoy, I don't think I would enjoy having to do what it would take for me to be a size 8 and be happy. Because that's more surgeries. Because to go from this size to even now in a solid 24, 22, to go to an 8, do you know how much skin I would have to have removed? I'm not even willing to do that. Because that's an aggressive surgery. It's costly.
And it's risky.
It's risky, but I just don't even want to put myself through that kind of pain, especially when I don't even feel like I should have ever been a size 8, I probably came out the womb a size 8. Like, I've just always been fluffy. But I do understand what you're saying. It would be like if all the men in the world just started shaving their beards. I'd be like, what the? I'd be upset about that. Like, who am I supposed to get now? So I get it from a vanity standpoint. And I also understand the importance of being attracted to what you like. But I still think the laziness question has to come out of that, Yeah, it does. It really does.
I think it plays a part.
But it does.
I think that's left up for debate whether laziness plays a part. Because like I said, I've seen it. I've seen it done. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in other people. You know what I mean? And then there's plenty of people, just as there's people showing off their post surgeries and the deflated balloon, and then they're in the gym trying to tighten up their skin. There's people who never undergone any surgery and are in the gym just as heavy. You know what I'm saying? Getting it in and tightening up.
So is it that you want plus size women to stay plus size, or you just would prefer, if you're gonna lose weight, go to the gym and drink smoothies?
Bingo.
Why?
Well, why? Because one, you don't get the deflated balloon look. You know what I mean?
Okay. So there is definitely a chance where weight loss surgery makes it come off very fast, which is why perhaps some of the guidelines today maybe should be a little more stringent. I can agree with that, because before, back in the day, like, you had to be my 600-pound life to even qualify, right?
Exactly.
But
I don't mind that.
But it doesn't matter whether you mind it or not.
Yeah, I know.
And so I think the same way that society has always put overweight men and women in a very separate and unequal and unfair category, which is why now it is much easier to have a weight loss surgery. Because for most people, they'll think, oh, well, the worst thing in her life is because she's overweight, and that's why everything in her life is terrible. But that's not always the case. But when you're looking at somebody who's overweight, that's the natural assumption, right? But I agree with what you're saying. You like what you like, and you want to see it, and you want to see it
enhanced.
Oh, okay, enhanced
naturally.
Enhanced naturally.
Yes.
Okay. I think you're gonna have to get over that one. I mean, I think you are, because for one, I don't even think it's a fair concept for you to judge.
It's not. If I'm a suitor to these women, if I'm attracted to them, if I'm approaching them and trying to court them.
So what are you gonna say? Listen, hey baby, my name is Kevin. I think you fine, but do you plan on having weight loss surgery in the next 2 to 3 years?
Why would I say that? Well, I don't. Why would I?
maybe that is what you should ask though.
I should just go around asking women like when I
because
see a
then
big girl that I
you have
like.
to be disappointed if she decides
So
2 to 3 years later to have
at what
weight
point
loss
should I
surgery.
ask it though? Should I ask it like when I first approach her, or like when we go on our first date?
First approach. No.
On the first date?
No.
On the second date?
Maybe second
After
or
we
third.
hit? After we hit?
No. Mm-mm.
So when should I ask?
Second
Hey,
or
do you
third
plan on
date.
getting surgery at some point in your life?
Yeah.
Huh? The second or third date?
Yeah.
But then, why would I ask that on the second or third date if I ain't hit yet?
That's why. Because you
I gotta hit first before I ask something like.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because that jeopardizes the situation. Because then she gonna feel away, and then now I'm gonna talk myself out the pussy.
And
Oh my god, like, bruh,
listen, you
bruh.
choose where you're gonna house your respect. Okay, I would prefer you have it prior to getting inside of her. You know, because having that conversation about weight loss surgery and sharing your thoughts on it after we've had sex, and I'm somebody who's considering it, now I feel violated. Now I feel like I've been hoodwinked. You know, even though we didn't necessarily, and that's probably not a conversation I would have, because for me, it may not have been a big deal, but for you, it is a big deal.
But see, but this is why I'm punching air, is because your body, your choice, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your body, your choice at the end of the day. So it's like, I can't say nothing to, I can only, you know what I'm saying? I can only yell about it. That's it. That's all I can do.
You can do what you're doing. You're asking questions. You're gaining insight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you insight.
Right,
now,
right,
you
right.
can choose to accept that.
Right, yeah.
But it is my body, my choice. But it's also my body that I would want you to choose. So I get it. You know, if I like you, I want you to be attracted to me. So I understand what you're saying. I'm seeing these women with bodies that I'm hugely attracted to, and then a month later I see them and I'm like, who, what, you know, I get it. But I do think for you, because you do have that feeling about it, yeah, maybe you should ask prior to. Because again, like I said, if we've already done it and then I hear later, oh God, I think that laziness and that surgery and this, now I feel like, you know, and again, that's my own responsibility. Yeah. I'm accountable to who I give my body to. Right. But
so if we were to have sex for the first time and then afterwards we get to talking and I'm like, oh, you know, I think women who get them surgeries, they just do it for vanity and they be lazy. That's it. You know what I mean? And I completely dismiss the notion of medical necessity, and I just harp on the laziness aspect of it. Right? And you, so now you would feel violated as a woman who just gave her body up to me, who never had the surgery though.
Right, I haven't had it. Maybe
you haven't
had considering it.
You were considering it.
Yeah, or even if I wasn't considering it,
because now you're so what? Where would the hurt be? Because you're saying to yourself,
not the hurt. I don't want to say hurt.
What is it?
I wouldn't say that I would feel hurt, but I feel like, okay, so I can't be fully transparent with him regarding this, or I can't be safe here. This isn't safe. And emotional safety is important. I wouldn't feel that.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, I mean, but you know what? Well, go ahead.
Have you ever started something with an intended goal and it either A, didn't work or didn't work fast enough?
All the time.
Okay, and you found an alternative that might be faster?
Yeah.
Were you lazy?
Yeah.
No.
Listen. A lot of my success and innovation came from laziness.
Well, yes. Laziness. What is it? Laziness is the mother.
There's a saying to it. I know. Yeah, the mother of innovation. Invention.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I just think it is. It's just an unfair question.
So in closing, what is my intended outcome and what do I hope to understand? So I hope to I hope to understand the women's I was about to say laziness. I hope to understand the women's motivations for opting into these surgeries.
You don't understand that as yet?
No, I understand it. I understood it better from the survey, because the survey questions were very handcrafted, right? You know what I mean? So I do understand it. I understand it, but just them two responses kind of opened my eyes a little bit. You know, those two. I think it was good that we only got two responses, because we got to juxtapose two sides of a coin. Whereas, like I said, one young lady wanted to do it to improve her appearance. The other young lady did it for medical purposes, right? And I'm listening.
Okay, I do think all of your reasonings listed are primary reasons. Like, it would have been, I wouldn't have been able to check one primary reason. I probably would have listed all of them and said all of them are primary. You know, because the fact of the matter is, my knees are better. They're not Meg's knees, but they are better knees than I had before. You know, my back does feel better. I do have less just physical pain. So clearly it was a medical necessity. I've not, praise God, been pre-diabetic or any of that stuff. However, just going about my day every day, ultimately better. Do I want to wear a whole bunch of clothes in my life? Hell yeah. So there was definitely a vanity side of it, because I like clothes and I like dresses and I like twirling and shit, you know? Because I'm time, I know. Right? But I think all of the reasons are primary. And so and then everybody's motivations are different, but still the same. We ain't talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if you were to ask an addict, and they do ask addicts before they go into detox, why are you here? And they want some revolutionary answer. It's to stop doing drugs. So the motivation is the same, because my life is terrible because I do drugs, right? So yeah, I think everybody's motivations are different yet quite similar.
So let's say I'm a John Doe, and I'm courting a young lady who is you know who is maybe just big or just fat, whatever you want to call it, and I'm in the process of courting her. She goes ahead and comes out of a weight loss surgery. You know what I mean? And she's going through all the bariatric effects of it. You know, the constant the Let me start. I don't know if I caught it or not. Yeah. So let's say I'm a young John Doe courting a young lady who may be overweight for whatever reason. Maybe she's just thick, or maybe she's fat, and she actually undergoes this surgery, and now she looks entirely different. She's going through all the bariatric effects. You know what I'm saying? She can't eat. She can't put down food anymore. She poops everything she eats immediately. She gets the deflated balloon look. You know, in the course of, it don't happen right away, right?
Well, it just depends on
your body type, right? Yeah. So now, you know, weeks into it, she now has the deflated balloon look. I'm seeing bones and muscles in odd places I've never seen before, and you know,
you're not as attracted.
I'm not as attracted. What is young John Doe supposed to do?
You have to be honest about that. I mean, you just have to say that.
How does a man do that?
You can apologize and say, hey, my level of attractiveness has changed. Well, what are you going to do? Make her pretend like you're still attracted to her and pursue this relationship? No. You're just going to be honest about it. If every last tooth in your mouth turned black, I would look at you and be like, listen, I'm less attracted to you. That smile right there, I really like that smile. But this one, I mean, I can't look at this smile every day. It's not doing it for me. You know, and it's going to be sensitive, you know, and she may talk shit about you. Oh, you just want me to beat it. Like, okay. But you would rather that than... Now y'all 2-3 years in, it's children, it's you know, and then you know, acting out because you're no longer attracted to her, because it will happen, you know. And then again, that's also considering how long you've been dead. Like, you're just courting her. Just tell her, you look great. Or you don't even got to say that. You can say, I'm glad you're happy. I'm not as attracted to you anymore.
I'll tell you when it came to a head. There was a woman who I was attracted to on social media. I think I might have met her in person maybe once or twice. And did I slide in her DM? I don't know if it was in her DMs or if it was in the comments. But I straight up told her, like, listen, you don't look healthy. You may be healthy medically, but you don't look physically healthy. I flat out told her. I was honest with her. You know what I mean? Now, of course, I got blocked.
As you should have.
Why should I have gotten blocked? I was honest.
No, you were an expert. You don't look healthy. First of all, you could have said nothing and just unfollowed her.
I was attracted. I have to sit back in pain and watch this
prior to weight loss. Okay, so then screenshot all them pictures and look at those. I'm serious. Like, you can say nothing. You use the ministry of silence and say nothing. I guarantee you, had you scrolled up 2 or 3 profiles, you would have seen it. I said, yeah, you just be in a little bit of pain because had you scrolled up 2 or 3 profiles, you would have seen another plus size woman that you find attractive. So it would have been a very short-lived pain.
I liked her.
I'm so sorry. But that's all. That's it.
That's it.
You don't get to comment and tell.
My body, my choice. My body, my choice.
Yeah, but even the way you're saying that, it's so disingenuous.
Yes, the fuck. Yes, the fuck. Yes.
Woman and say, hey, your body, my choice. And if she's with that, then there you go.
Bars. Your body, my choice. There you go. Let's go. I think that'll do it. So, once again, this was an awesome show. I hope you guys liked it. Did you like it? Yeah, I liked it too. This was a dope show. I knew it was gonna be a dope show. When we talked about it, it was dope. So yes, I want to thank you guys for tuning into this multi-million-dollar stream. I'm your host, Kev Prosper, the owner and founder of Prosperity U LLC. You are tuned into Love and Money, the podcast of Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for contributing to the Cash App above at $Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. And remember, we do this every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember to invest in the brand Prosperity U LLC. Build wealth, travel boldly, live royally. See you guys next week. Bye.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Lead the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. That's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit ProsperUnlimited.com and click Travel to book your next vacation.
Ha. Hey yo, P, do that freaky jam on the beat. Dizzy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky ticky with some butter, so that phone too. If you cheeky cheddar check, I get her own cheese. It's a chicken with that head, or this up, that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Bloody titty cheddar with that long cheese.
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch, It's gonna get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Leave the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. It's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit prosperunlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.
Ha. Hey yo, P, do that freaky jam on the beat. Dizzy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky ticky with some butter, so that phone too. If you cheeky cheddar check, I get her own cheese. It's a chicken with that head, or this up, that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Bloody titty cheddar with that long cheese.
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch, It's gonna get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Leave the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. It's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit prosperunlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.
P. Do that freaky jam on the beat. Busy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky sticky with some butter, so that phone sing. If you cheeky cheddar chuck, I get her own cheese. And so chicken with that head, or this bitch that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Bloody see each other, wish that with that long
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. It's gonna get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Lead the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. That's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit prosperunlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.
Ha. Hey yo P, do that freaky jam on the beat. Busy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky sticky with some butter, so that phone sing. If you cheeky cheddar chuck, I get her own cheese. And so chicken with that head, or this bitch that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Bloody see each other, wish that with that long
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. It's gonna get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Lead the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. That's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit prosperunlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.
Ha. Hey yo P, Do that freaky jam on the beat. Busy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky with some butter, sit that phone too. If you cheeky chatter chuck, I get her own cheese. And so chicken with that head, or this bitch that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Let me see these head, wish that with that long
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. If I don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch, I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Lead the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. That's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit ProsperUnlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.